Okay, so we have an exam type question. Well, in fact, question 2 could well be in an exam as well. So they are all reasonably tricky. So question 3, given that P and Q are both acute angles and sine of P and the cos of Q are given, find the exact value of the sine of P plus Q. Okay, so we're seeing the sine of P plus Q there, so we're going to have to use the addition formulae. So if we expand, we get sine P cos Q plus cos P sine Q. Again, that's just coming from the addition formula given in the previous video. But at the moment, we don't know, well, we know the sine of P that's given, but we don't know the cosine of P. We know the cosine of Q, but we don't know the sine of Q. So what we need to do is to draw out the triangles and calculate the values of cosine of P and sine of Q. So the sine of P is 4/5. So here's angle P, opposite hypotenuse, 4/5. A little bit of Pythagoras to get the third side, which will be 3. The cosine of Q is 8/17. So 8 and 17. Again, we need to calculate this side. So a little bit of Pythagoras, and that turns out to be 15. Now, because there are whole number values, integer values, for all 3 sides of both of these triangles, these are called Pythagorean triples. These come up a lot. So if we know these, that should be a right angle in there. Just notice that. If we know 2 of these sides, we can just fill in the third side. We don't need to show any working for it. It's just assumed that we might know it. Okay, so this 3, 4, 5 triangle comes up a lot. You'll use it so many times it will just become second nature to you to write it down and fill in the missing side. We could double each side, which would make it 6, 8, 10 as well, which is reasonably common. And the 8, 15, 17 one is common, but not as common as the 3, 4, 5. So we've done this. So now we know the cosine of P is 3/5 and the sine of Q is 15/17. So we can substitute in. Sorry, my daughter started playing the violin in the background there, which is why I paused. I don't know if you heard that or not. So sine of P, so 4/5 multiplied by cosine of Q, 8/17, plus the cosine of P, which is 3/5, plus the sine of Q, which is 15/17. And then numerator multiplied by numerator, denominator multiplied by denominator. And these questions will always get the same denominator in each fraction, guys. And then add the numerators together for 77/85. So what have we actually done there? We're told the sine of P and the cosine of Q. So we've written down those 2 sides in the triangle. We've used Pythagoras, which is a second year skill, to work out the third side. We've done some trig ratios, so sine of P and cos of P, which again you've done in second year. I mean, it's a long time since you've done it, but you're doing that in second year. Then we've used this addition formulae, which is given to us. So we've just expanded this and it's given to us. So it's essentially, okay, that's that. Let's write down the expanded version. Then we've substituted in some numbers and multiplied fractions together. So if you strip away this middle part here, all of the other stuff is really second year maths. Okay, so I'm not trying to say it's easy, but don't look at it and think, oh, this is overly complicated. Look at it and think, well, actually, if I break this down into 4 separate skills, this is the only new part. And again, that is given in your formula list. And that is an exam question.